Okay. So I plan to make something, but I'm not sure exactly what now. Something crazy, right? Hey. Okay. Programming, nothing. Here you have something, images. Oh. Whatever. It doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. So the question is, what do I make difficult to answer? Five, 6, 7, 8. Should I update this? Router map, evaluate router. So what do I do first? Should I make like a block part or something? Maybe change logs. text HTML. Whatever. Yeah. Shit. Okay. Shit. Ay. Fucking hell, man. God damn it. Okay, so it's now it's now a switch. You see, a switch watch. Who the fuck gonna watch switch watch one? Okay, so these have to go to a function, right? Router static. Let's make. I'll just put it in here again. So static. Let's see. What is it? I'm not sure what to call this because I'm not really sure what this is. I mean, it returns the text, which is the content from the file. So what would it be? File request maybe, or response, content response. I'll call it this for now, and it needs to take the response, and it still needs to return. So I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but let's see. So this hello Ofex, if that's how you say it. Gandalf. That's pretty funny. Today Gandalf, tomorrow something else, right? Okay, so response, this have to return the response. This might work, I'm not sure if it does. I hope it does. It's not really a much better solution than the other one. So, are you a freelance? No. or it depends on what freelance means. The only people that pays me right now is the government, and that's or it's not really the government, right? But I'm on like in Denmark there is this thing, if you don't earn money, the government or the commune, whatever you want to call it, they will give you money. But I don't do freelance right now, no. Maybe I really should though, but okay, so this doesn't work. For what reason is the question? It's probably because these needs to return as well, right? I think. The only problem with doing this is that I have so many, like I'm calling the same function here again. Is it working also for foreigners, EU citizens? I think you might have to be a Danish citizen before. I'm not exactly sure how the rules work, to be honest. Okay, so this works. That's good. It's a bit odd that it sometimes responds with a HTML, or it responds with these formats, and it's the same file type, which I think is a bit odd, but I guess that's fine. Okay. So this one is not responding. So syntax error. So I wonder why this is taken as a text/HTML. What the fuck? Okay. Let me see what is going on in the request in the router here. So the URL seems correct. What then? Then we get here, the content type is text and HTML. We should go down here then, yes, that's also correct. Get up here and it can get the modified last. It's also correct. Okay. For some reason it returns the entire file here. I shouldn't do. Have you been heard about Svelte.js? No, I don't know what this is. Cybernetically enhanced web apps. Write less code. Build boilerplate free components. No, I don't. I haven't been using very many libraries or frameworks for or just generally. I think the only thing I use here on this side is Font Awesome, and that's only for the icons. And I don't really, I'm not really happy about using it because the load time increases a lot just by having Font Awesome, right? For icons, even though it's cached, but I still think there's something up with it. You need to work with frameworks. It's not 2004 anymore. I can just make, I don't know. I never get a job in this line of work, anyways. I don't give a shit. I don't do good code, right? I just code something. I mean, this is my own framework, like quotation marks, right? It works, so I'm fine with that. I don't care about all these fancy. I mean, I could improve upon it, right? I would agree on that part, but I think it's like it works the way I do it, right? And it's not slow. The only problem with this, if I need to like find a problem, I think it's maybe having no server side, but I'm also kind of autistic currently, so yeah, focus on backend. That's a problem. I haven't been doing backend for very long now. I've just not given a shit, to be honest, because there are so many what would you say, problems almost, like or not problems, but with this website I didn't want to deal with like storing emails or passwords or so on. Not that, I would encrypt it properly, of course, if I had to hold user data, but I didn't want to deal with getting hacked and so on, actually, for this website, because maybe some people, they would like to hack it, so I wanted it to be more secure in a sense. I'm sure that you have some workshop for web development in your area for free, super cheap, but why would I take that? I don't understand. Why would I take it? What would I, like, why would I do that? What's the point? I don't know what I need to learn, that's the problem. Like, I can do what would you say? Like, I probably wouldn't benefit very much from going and taking a course or like signing up for something. Like, I think I would be much better off just coding something, to be honest. And then spending more time on coding. Like currently I don't code every day, right? But most days I code, maybe, or not really, but because I think like here there is some things I could do a shop, right? I could set up a shop for this website, and that could be a task I could do, and that would require a backend for sure, right? If I wanted to have a shop, so that's something I can do. But it's always this thing, like, what do you actually need to learn? I don't just want to learn things anymore. I think, like, not just something that doesn't matter. I've been doing that too much. Well, for me personally, I really like to meet new people with same passion as me. Oh yes, I guess that's a good point. I could use that sometimes as well. I don't have that many programming friends, actually. But then again, maybe I don't want programming friends. I'm not sure. But I guess it's good to have something maybe you can work together, right? Something like that. I'm not even very good at working with people, actually. I'm very bad at working with people. I think, at least that's my, what would you say? It seems to be that my history tells me that I'm not very good at working with people, or something like that. Maybe that's not true, but I think it's kind of true. But I also think it's something that happens if you don't have similar goals and so on. That might be a problem. And I don't know, for some reason this doesn't respond with the content. The request is fucked up. It's a gift for being an autodidact. You need to maximize the advantages from it. Yes, that's probably correct. Yeah, just wait, right? We're working on it. It can also be a problem, right? Sometimes if you grow too much, too quickly, maybe you're gonna get pushed back. So maybe I'm good with taking small steps, but I might need to maximize it a little bit. Anyways. Okay. So this is a bit odd to me that these files, or for some reason, they are served as HTML and text files, but they shouldn't really be HTML and text files. And that's a bit odd. Okay, so now it's not. That's even more strange. Alright, thanks, man. You too. Have fun. I can sit here and enjoy, right? Or I try to. Okay, so there is no hover on my anchor tags right now. So I guess I need to create that. I'm still running this Sass from the terminal because I think the extension I got from like there is a Visual Studio extension, but it wouldn't work properly for some reason, which is a bit odd. It's like there is bugs everywhere currently. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Oh, I forgot I actually did some backend, right? Maybe I should just focus on that backend thing. And yes. So let's look at some of this code. Maybe. If I can figure it out. So it's Node.js, and what this code does in here is that it generates different tables in here, or for this website currently, and sometimes I have a problem because I know what I want, right? I think the best solution for this would be that I have a file. Right now I have these files, and I have the content of whatever, you know, if the file have or the files are static currently. Static in the sense that what would you say? That they hold this data. But I think what I need to do if I want to serve more users, I would have to load this file into memory and then change this bit, or actually maybe only serve this bit. But the question is if I should do it in an extra network request, or if I should make it so that it's in memory, and then when I serve the file, I will serve it with the correct data. That I'm not sure about. Because network requests, they are kind of expensive, right? So they are not good to do, but it would probably make it a lot more simpler to have it in a network request. And I haven't really thought about doing it in network before, or with an extra network request. Because the way I currently did it was that I just wrote to files. So if I run this program, it will change this piece of the file, right? And the good thing about that is that you keep the data, right? If something happens, but I don't really need to keep this data, so it's kind of stupid. And the file write is a lot of the, what would you say? The file write costs a lot of, file writing is very expensive, is what I want to say. Compared to doing computations, it's a lot slower. So by me doing a file write, it slows this down a lot. which is not good. Not even sure if this updates. Okay, so it still works, it seems. And this is with the file write. So for the highest, it seems that it takes 3 milliseconds, or between 3 to 5 milliseconds for changing the content of the file. But I think if I don't do this file writing down here, it's still asynchronous file writing, but then the times, they are a lot faster, and this might actually be good. Because this is less than a millisecond, right? Or yes, meaning that I can have over 1,000 of these per second, and I'm probably gonna have a network bottleneck before that. At least on my server, I think. And maybe these times they're not something, but the but it just makes it so much more difficult. Doing this, because this is the whole, so this is the whole content. I don't really need the whole content here. It's actually only this one, the function, but it's already executed, so it's actually a string. Because it's much faster to have stored this on the RAM. I don't really need to store it on disk, because I don't need any persistency. Or I need is it called persistency? I'm not sure. But I need it to the extent that having a file with the content as a start is required, I think. But I'm not even, the problem I'm facing currently is that, let's say that I manage to store these I manage to store this data in the RAM, so it's stored in memory or in RAM instead of on the disk. Then I would need to set Nginx up for something that talks to Node.js, and I'm not sure how you do that. I think it's something like reverse proxy or something. Right. Oh, oops. I'm not really sure, and I'm not sure. One of the things that I dislike about something like this is that I don't know. I don't know what the performance implications is of using something like this. Because I need, like, the Nginx and the proxy, they are on the same server, so it seems like almost passing a request to a proxied server. It almost seems like this is something that works on external servers. And that's where using other people's programs sometimes makes things difficult, I think. At least for me. Fast CGI server. But and this is why, like, that's why I have a problem with this, because the fastest way of serving the files would probably be to store this in memory and then serve the file, so the file would be stored in memory, and then we would serve the file when somebody requests it, maybe. Or maybe not. This is probably causing race conditions as well. Or no, because I can actually just yes. It wouldn't cause race conditions if I only change this piece and I would just, like, do I even need to have it in memory? I don't know this stuff. Oh. Oh, it's time. That's why. Is it because of this? Oh, that's interesting. Look how slow this console operation is. This is so difficult for me because I don't know which way I want it right. But what I could do is probably just to have, because like there's multiple ways I can do this. Is that one of the ways would be to have, so I would serve this file and all this would be static, but this would be requested from an API instead, maybe. So I would request this from an API, and in that sense I wouldn't have to write to disk, because writing to disk is very slow, and there's no need of writing to disk unless I want to store like all the combinations that have been in the past or something crazy. But then again, maybe that would give something, but probably not. The only thing that could give is something far out anyways. And I could just generate them on random, so the only difference would be like the point in time that they would be computed would be based on something from a human or from a click instead of being from a random picking or something. But that probably doesn't make much sense anyway. Anyways, oh, yeah. Yes. And now I killed all these. Great. Oh, yeah, it's because of this one. God damn it. If I'm lucky, I can reverse the changes. So this one still have. Sometimes I'm an idiot. It's fucking great. Fucking great. Fucking great. Great. Ay. I also need to update my SSL certificates. Oh shit, I'm gonna get hacked now. God damn it. Okay, I need to do something here. If I can. I need to download some files because I just killed whatever I had. Or some of them. I think I actually have another backup, right? Yeah, 1 second. I just need to fix something. I'm sorry. And I have to make sure that I don't do anything stupid right now. It's because I messed something up. I had to... 1 second. Okay. I had to make sure that I didn't leak anything. Isn't that what you say? Or something. else maybe I get in troubles. That's also not good. Okay. So I have the files here. It was because I had overwritten these files. Or I had, yes, okay, so now again, it works now. Yes, good. I think I have, oh, that sucks, fucking hell. Didn't I have another backup? No, it's too far back. This one maybe. Then again, when was it updated? March. And this. Okay. Whatever. I guess I just need to. I need to restyle this anyway. So maybe it's whatever or something. It's just a little bit bad, I guess, that something like that happens. And I'm also, yeah, I think this I actually used quite some time on. But I guess I just have to remake these. Because there was something, I think this is a table. And I made it, I made a table with divs before or something. I'm not sure. Okay. So what was it? It was using an API for this, or sending it. I guess I can live with that one extra network request or something, right? One network request extra might not be that bad. It's more that it's just not a needed request, I suppose. Or doing the request is not needed, you can do it without the request. But it would probably require so much work of me because it's something that I'm not sure how to do. And I know it's very easy setting up an API for serving these or serving this content. It would not be very difficult compared to the other. So maybe that's okay to do. And I wouldn't have to set up a reverse proxy and so on. Or maybe I would actually. I could also just have another endpoint or something, I don't know, for the API. But yes, so maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. Also, this right here, I'm very unhappy about. I need to do something about it. It's not very smart. Because it's so much load time just to get these icons right. I don't know why Font Awesome don't have a service where you can just get this, the singular icon or whatever you want to say. without getting all, like the entire style sheet and so on. Like I would be fine just with this, I suppose. But then they don't have an attribution, or they don't have that it's their thing, I guess. So it's just bullshit because it's so much load time, right? It's adding a lot. Actually too much, I think. Look, it's adding like it's like 60% slower or something. Or not really, I guess, maybe. It's quite some slower though. And that's the problem because I don't need all the icons, right? So it should not load. And it's probably loading all the icons, which is goddamn stupid. Okay. I guess I could set up an API. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. What should I use for it? Express or something? Is there anything better nowadays? Yes, it's framework, right? What is this Fastify? Okay, so Node.js performance, blah blah blah. What are the statistics? With a raw HTTP node, that's way faster. It's actually strange. Raw Node.js. But something I don't understand here is that if raw Node.js can serve 8,000 requests per second, why isn't there a framework serving this amount? Shouldn't that be possible? Or maybe that's not possible, but shouldn't it be possible? Should I write it in Node just? Raw HTTP node. I guess it's the HTTP module. Average request per second. Then again, I probably can't even serve more than 5,000 requests anyways. Or can I? I can if I cache, or if it's cached on the browser, I think, maybe. But if I do a lot of network requests, then I cannot do more than 5,000 per second. It's not even that many, right? 5,000. And this is something I don't get. I cannot understand this. I don't understand why this is faster, because Express is built on this HTTP module, probably. That's what I'm thinking, at least. Oh, this is it. Yeah, but I don't need to perform. The problem with this is that it's performing the requests. I need to serve the request. Okay, yes, this is what I need, I guess. I guess we're doing it this way. I guess I need to do it in here actually, now that I think about it. So I guess I can remove this. And this one probably have to stay. Okay, so yes. What? Just gonna copy this code. And or check. That's a good start, I guess. So this is bullshit. Okay, so create server, and we listened for I'm not sure what does this one have on it. So already listens. Okay. fs create read stream. Yes. So I don't need to read stream. Oh, it has a pipe. What is that? pipe rest, that's respond, right? Or what? So if it's a get, it responds with this, I suppose. So request, what does this have? Request.path. Or what? It doesn't have a path. Method. Readable. Socket status. URL. I guess that's it. I'm probably gonna be annoyed with this because I think okay. So let's see if we can trigger a request. So I suppose we do it from in here and where I guess I'll make like something testing for testing, right? We need to fetch localhost. I think, right? I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna get like cross origin problem right now, or maybe I might get one. Then respond. Is it response? What are you creating? I'm creating a website, and then currently I suppose I'm trying to set up a node endpoint so I can serve some of the things on the website from an API, because currently I just serve them from static files, and I want some of it to be dynamic, but I don't want to yes, I think this is the way I do it. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna serve some of this, like this is gonna be served from the file, and then I'll request this data from the API. It will do an extra network request, which might not be so good, but at least that's what will happen now. Okay, so fails to fetch because of Yes, the cross origin. URL scheme must be HTTP. I'm not sure if, can you even request? Okay. Yes. Okay, so at least it's hitting the points right. Or I can get the path. So I know that that part is working. Then it's just setting up this one. That might be a little more difficult. Okay. So it might actually have, yes. Okay, so that works. We know that we can send a request then from this to our client or to our Node.js application. So that was not that difficult. Then what we need to do, I guess maybe I'll hack something together here, right? Because it's doesn't matter. Okay, the request URL is our switch like entry or whatever you want to say. And so that's not gonna work actually. What am I thinking? Or is it? Okay, so this will work. If I store every specific or every URL, and I guess that's fine maybe. Is it? Is that fine? Yes. Maybe it's fine. Maybe that's just what I need to do. I guess we can take these or something. Okay. So yeah, this is maybe a bit stupid, but or this is gonna be annoying actually. Yeah, the endpoint won't be like this. Or they actually almost have to. Now I hit a problem. I guess, oh, yes. Of course, I can do, let's jump here. And then, yes, parcel strings, I import this one. We import that. And these strings, they contain, or what, can I not jump here? Web, so this one is 2 out, is it 2 out? Is that it? Parcel string, where is it located? Parcel string, it's in here. So it's actually in websites. Websites, this. Yes, okay, good. And then we can get the strings from here, I suppose. So the first one is this one. It's called binary. I actually want to rename these, so maybe I should do that now. Because I don't know what I thought when I thought this up. I think it's kind of stupid. So I guess I'm not breaking anything, or actually I am breaking. Am I not? See, they are used here, and they are used as that, and in the map. And when do we then use this map? We get from get content, but that's only a get content function. I guess it doesn't matter then. And they're used here, but that's fine. I guess we can do it another way around. then it's gonna be easier having it in here, because if I change it in the file, it's gonna be updated. So this one dot Ching is the first one, and so let me see. Now to this one, because this is the file, or this is the the request should probably not. I guess the requests, they have to happen. The problem here, or the problem that I see currently, or that I guess I'm thinking about right now, is that, let's say I go to a page and I request the content, and then it's first when the content is requested that it's gonna do the second request, because it's gonna be 2 network requests. So I might have to set something up that's a bit more advanced, or think of something, because maybe this request and this request, they have to be going on at the same time, and then I would have to keep them in a promise, and then something, or because I can request it from here. But what is the problem? The problem from requesting it in here is that it's gonna be delayed, meaning a slower load time. And I think maybe I can do the request elsewhere. But if I then do the request elsewhere, I'm not sure which request is first completed, and I would have to wait for this request to be completed before the other one, or would I? Because this is only one DOM operation, or it's one time I write to the document, and if I want to do it another way, I might have to write multiple times to the document. Next puzzle. Because if this one gets in first and this document is not even loaded, then it's gonna break, right? Or then I would have to wait for this to be finished. I guess I can do that. So like this. This is one way. We request up here, and what we request, yeah. Now it's a problem again because I need to request the exact file. So, I wonder what this logs out if I console log dot location. Let's see. Oh, nice, good, yes. So we can actually do that. That's great. It's actually great. Actually great. Meaning that I can say what can I say? Path, so that's gonna be that, and this is gonna be this location dot path name, and I don't want to do an operation, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add or where do I want to do the operation? Because there is like switch statements, they are stored in memory, right? So it doesn't matter to have a string concatenation, right? I think not. As far as I know, this probably shouldn't matter down here. I'm not sure if it's up here because this might be dynamic, but this should be stored, I think. So it's not doing the addition every time because this is like this is a what's it called, a constant, right? Look, it's doing the request now. Great. This might have one slash too much in the start. So now I guess what we want to try out is that we want to do this response, and I guess this is the problem. So we want to do that, and also let's see if we can console.log first case was hit. Okay, so it didn't hit the first case. Because of the request URL being this. And it has a slash in the start, so maybe that's why. Yes, so first case was hit. Good. Then I guess we need to see how we actually respond with a request. So Node.js HTTP response. Res app, res head send, res local. Response object. Res append, res end body chunk. Is that it? It's res end. any void. Okay. I guess I can actually place this here, and then this one I don't really do. I need request on data chunk, so this is not what I need. Hello. Request or res right. Is it right you need to do? And so this is where it maybe needs to be a little bit interesting. What can I write? I can do this one. Actually, I suppose I can do this. Function binary, so where does that come from? Path function. Okay. And interesting. What is okay? So that's also why is it doing this? I thought this worked just before, didn't it? I mean, the request is going through, it's just not right, else it wouldn't print in here. Requested resource, no access control allowed origin. So I guess this is something I need to set in the header on the Node.js article. site head. I guess this can be added. Or I think. Nope. Or nope. Oh, maybe it's this one actually. Wee. Yes, yes, yes. It worked. But it doesn't really seem to respond or log out to respond here, which should so at least it does 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Okay. So there is actually, or it is actually working. Type course. Spawned. I guess maybe I'm doing this fetch wrong or something. Spawn return JSON. Maybe I need to do this double. Or then I could use the old school way of requesting, right? That would also work. Oi. What? What? Because it's text? I think it's because it's text. Yay, we get the response. Great. So that works. That works. It's just an extra request, which is not very good. Not very good, but hey. It works. So I wonder what happens if we do this. So let's see what happens when we do this and request it instead. It's probably gonna fail down here because it's async and this variable hasn't been written to yet. Exactly. So there's no content here. So then the question arises, what do we do about it? Well, what do we do about it? What we could do is that we throw this, or actually we have to throw the entirety of all this in here, which might not be so good. But this would probably work. Yes, it does work. Or it does work. And let's see the performance, because I'm not sure about the performance for this. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. This is fucking madness. Like, it's fucking madness. I used Font Awesome for these 6 icons, and it's adding like 70 milliseconds, and it's like, I mean, I have the first meaningful paint here, but I don't have the loaded content before very late when I do it this way, and it's just stupid because I don't need, like, I only need these few icons. I don't want to load the entire bullshit. It's crazy, right? Because it's gonna affect the load speed. So let's see. Okay, so the network request goes here, and let me see. Nothing is loaded before. Yeah, this is not very good way. So another way I guess I can do is that instead of only having one DOM operation, what we could do is that maybe, what would we do actually? But actually, what I would have to do is that I would have to write to this one, right? ID next puzzle or something, and then we would get this document. And then we set this. Instead of having, you don't have anything here, and then we would wait for the request to be finished, and then we would add it equals that. Maybe this, but then the problem is if this is actually faster, because there might be certain cases, or no, that's probably impossible. Yeah, I think it's impossible actually. There's probably nobody that gets what I'm talking about, but hey. So the image is loaded here, that's also kind of slow. Should this just be after? It could just be after, maybe. Is that better? No, not really. So now every request is new. It's new content down here. The only problem is that, yeah, what is it even? I'm not too happy about it. Not too happy. And also, this image decoding should be going on over here. But it's probably because of the DOM operations being slow or something. Alright. So I guess I just need to do this with the other puzzles as well. This one. And it's the same thing. So that is, I called the first one binary. This one, okay, so I need to rename, rename these. This one is alchemical. So all of them have to be moved one up. And I also need another way of exposing these functions I use. Probably. Or what? Or maybe not. Yes, maybe not. Maybe just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll copy these and throw them in here. Remove that. It's a different path. There's nothing going on in here. I don't even know what I'm doing right. It's what I'm supposed to say. Alright. So now we have these. Something we can work with. And then, what is the first one? The alchemical. Yes, so this actually have to be that. That was the mistake. And this one actually have to be which one? Binary emoji. Like that. And what do we have more? Base 75 is based on, and there is something going on here. Base 75 alpha image. So this must be the path, this is the path, and this is where it's gonna go to, or what? Yes, and that's maybe that mistake I did before. Okay, and we don't need this, do we? Do I need post? I probably need post. And why is this not a switch? This should probably be a switch, right? So switch is faster than if else. I think. Maybe not when it's only 2 cases. I'm not sure. That's the question. Does anybody know that? Is switch still faster than if else if there's 2 cases? Because I don't know. It's probably not faster. Post. What? Oh shit. Okay. So encrypt alchemically here on that string. That should also work. Maybe I should actually just call them directly. Do something like this. I probably still need to break, right? I'm not sure if this res end is stopping all the things. It kind of should. And then what? What's what? Base 74. So this is what? This is the base 75, and this one is the RNA, DNA and RNA. And the base 75 goes to this one. Should be simple enough. And the DNA goes to what? Get rid of this. It goes to the white rabbit thing. And now we need the function. So the function is encrypt alchemically, we have there. And I'll just call these contents as well. And this one, oops, this one have to be here. And now that this one is, wait a minute, this one is then this one, and DNA puzzle. So there's some functions here I need to, oh wait a minute, oh no, that's good because that's already how that works, so that's actually great. Just have to change the request then. All right, so something goes on here. Let me see the DNA function, DNA puzzle. So where is this coming from? Oh, it's a function down here. And this should not be in here, I think. Also, the splitter, I'm not sure where it's used. DNA. So I think DNA puzzle have to be in what? Because the others I have kinda I mean, I could place it here, but it would seem kinda odd almost. Or no, should I just have it in here? Or I could also just say fuck it. I'm just gonna place it here for now and not really care. It's make a comment or something. Was missing argument dumb RNA you cannot find, yes, because It's in module. Content has already been declared. Interesting. You know what? It's also stupid to have a variable. One second. Okay, let me see. Are you working on a website? Yes, I'm working on a website. You can declare variables in cases of the switch, but you need to wrap each case body into brackets. It will create a block for it where you can declare without conflicts. Okay, I see. I actually thought that doing this does the same as declaring a block. But you know, it's also a bit stupid anyways to do a variable when the function returns whatever I need to return. So I'll just do this anyways. Okay. So what I need now is that I'll just do the request this way. I'm still not yes, this is the website I'm doing, or currently doing. Yes, that's my website. So let's see, and it's also my code in here, right? It's not React, it's not framework related code, so it's a bit some of the code and some of the solutions might be not always the best, but I guess this is what I like doing. So I like how you handle the routing. Yes, me too. That's my most that's what I'm most proud of on this website. I guess that's the router. Because I wrote it myself, right? That's why. anyways, that's what's so fun about it, I think. Because if you write your own router, people, what would you say? They might think it's just React, but if I've spent most of my time doing the router, or a lot of it might have gone into the router. Okay, so it fails to fetch because of what? Because there's no endpoint. Yes. Okay, so it works. Great. It's just a little bit slower because it's an extra network request, right? So first it's serving this file, and then the file, when it's loaded, does the network request. But it does new codes every time now, you can see. I'm not sure about the performance, but it's still good, I guess. It's a bit odd that the images, they are first loaded here, I think. How long have you been learning about I Ching? It's 2 years now, I think, maybe. Or maybe 1.5 years. I started, I don't know if you checked out my website, but I started logging my own pattern. So I have this graph which shows the hexagram I've read, and then this graph, and then how many, and so on. There's a bit extra statistics, like how many words for my specific pattern, and how many pages is equivalent to normal pages based on 3,000 characters. I think like 1.5 years probably the best number to give you. I started writing down, like this is over a year ago, right? I started writing down whatever I read. So this is my pattern, and it's not, I've not updated it for 80 days now, so it's a bit, at least the online version it's a bit different, but that's something, yeah. I think it's cool as well. At least it's something that I guess you can do, because like it's still reading, right? It's still reading, so it's still 1100 pages, and that's normal pages. It's way more if I had counted the pages like read in the book. And what can it be used for? I also, like, I've done multiple things with I Ching actually. Now that you triggered me to show these, like I also have this. These are generating the patterns. I have an oracle, right? I have this one, which generates the patterns. It shows a little more information. It's not that much. And then I read them, right? So if I get this one, I read number 17, and then I add it to my log after that. So it goes in here, kind of. But I also done this, like I have some, like I analyzed the text a bit. So you can see this is a graph showing like the occurrence of each letter in each text. So there is 64 texts, and then I counted the letter occurrence for each text and so on. So I just sometimes I just do things like this. I have this statistics as well for each hexagram, showing how many letters and how many lines, how many words, and the average length of the word. Because I want to do this time wave 0 program, if you know anything about that. But yeah. Anyways, I'll get back to doing this one for now. So all of them should actually work, I think. I still need to, so this one doesn't work, or what? No, it doesn't. Chat is always distracting. It's not a problem really. I also enjoy it, right? Or it's, I learn from it. I can sit like this with my hands. I learn from it. Because I'm not fully like comfortable in talking, so it's all good with me. All good with me. So let's see. Seems like it's not almost not requesting this file, is it? No. C. So that's base 75. Base 75 is this one. Why is this not hit then? Interesting. Maybe I didn't run it again. No, it's not hitting. Not hitting. Oh, maybe it's because I've changed this around. It doesn't even lock the URL. So it's probably because of this, right? The request method is not hitting. Or then it's just this file that doesn't have anything in it. That was also correct. I also need to clean up all of this code one day. Oh, great, 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 great. Okay, so the style is missing because of what? Table width, maybe that's it. Doesn't it build the HTML table? Generate base 75 HTML table and base 75 encrypted. Oh, shit, that's right. Ugh, fuck. This is annoying, actually, because I did something here and then I destroyed it, so now it's based on some old, which means I need to style this again, which is actually annoying. unless I can get it to work with a table. There is a program called Node.js that will refresh the app file anytime it's updated instead of running. Yes, oh yeah, that's correct. I've actually used it before, but it might still be installed. I just forget all these, to be honest. Thank you. It's something I started doing quite some time ago, actually. Okay, so it's requesting double actually. That's even more interesting. Why is it requesting it double? Still requesting it double. But there's only one request here. It's not requesting its double. Yeah, it's because it's locking this out. That's why. Right. Yes. The only thing that's a little annoying right now is styling this. Or very annoying, actually. It's goddamn annoying. Because I had the style for it. And the online version is running the old style, I think. Yes, this is tables, and I moved away from tables. Well, okay. So there's something called the table body, which it has 4 pairs in it. So I guess I'll have to style something here and get rid of all this, probably. Yes. It's just inline style right now, and then maybe I'll fix it after. Or it's not really inline, but in document. Okay, so body, and we have So we have divs under that. I'm already used to using Sass now, but I should probably just do it in there, right? Stop being a retard. Okay, so let's see, color, red, does it work? It does work, good. And then, okay, so how does it need to work this? How would it need to work? How do you get things? Is it just float? I need to get it to float left. Or I guess I could define, okay, so something happened at least. And I guess we need to set a width. So how much was it? It was maybe 20%. I think it was 4 pairs. So 25 actually. Right? Or 4 pairs, that's even more. No, 12. This might be too much though. Base 75 table. I think this is computed now. Right. Or no, next puzzle. This shouldn't be here. This shouldn't be here. Or what? Next puzzle. Code. This shouldn't be here. No. I think. What the fuck? So next puzzle, meaning that this tile have to be dumped somewhere. Let's get rid of that. Okay, it's just hacking something together, right? And I didn't do this actually, so never mind. Okay. Let's see, so we use ID table head for something. It might only be pairs of 2 we use for the table. This one have to then be, so there is only 2 here, meaning that I don't know actually what I thought when I did this, because these two they should probably be similar, else there's something wrong. Because of the What? Oh, it's ID. I always hate this. When you add a border, the pixel won't fit suddenly. I guess you can calculate it, right? Outline 1 pixel. Okay. I'll try that. Oh, nice. Thank you. I've had that problem sometimes. I think one of the ways I solved it was to calculate. With Sass, right? You can calculate percentage or something. So index key and oh, this is not working anymore. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Okay, so what did I do down here? Last time I did something for this table. Everything works until we break it. Exactly. The worst part was that I had made it responsive, this part, but because of this program I had usually wrote to files, I ran it and it just, you know, I forgot to back up. so it yeah, you know, it overwrote the content, so I had to get the backup of it. The other day I had issues with having to get HTTPS working. Once I got the HTTPS working, it broke the WebSocket, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I've had troubles myself getting HTTPS on local. I don't know if it's external or local you were working on, but I guess it's remote, right? It's the online version you had, probably. My SSL certificates are not even updated right now. They just ran out today, actually, or yesterday. Yeah, it was a local Linux machine. Local HTTPS is difficult. Yeah, I did it once, or I tried it for like, when was it? Maybe like it's less than a month ago, and the only thing I got was that it said localhost, and then there was a red, like here it was not, it said not secure, and actually I should really fix this actually today. I need to like write it down or something. Should remove that. I forgot how I got around this last time. Like these texts not fitting. I guess maybe I should do like if it's below a certain range, I could do 2 rows instead, right? Yeah, media queries. I might do it for it. To like 50%, right? Oh, now then, what the fuck? Now, like before, this menu didn't work. At least that's what I thought. But now it seems to be working. Again, I don't know. I'm sure I was watching this site before and it didn't happen. Or it didn't change, right? And I should probably also close the menu after I click. What is Q versus NP? It's a puzzle. At least, like it's my concept, right? I guess you can say maybe. But it's a puzzle website. So to get, like normally it doesn't work like this. It's just like this. You get here, and then blah blah blah, and you get to this code, right? Binary. So you have to decrypt this binary. So binary to text. This one should work. And then you get this code, and this is the key. The key you have to find, and you have to pass this key in here. I'm probably gonna make this a bit easier to understand maybe. And then you get to the next puzzle. So it's like puzzles, and then after this you have to break this one. This is in this text there is encrypted a key. So you know, I made this myself, so I actually have them on my website. So it's a bit cheating if you do it that way. But most people, they will not know, right? But you can decrypt this, and it will give you a string as well. And this string is the key. So you go here again, and you press solve, and now there's a space. And you go to the next puzzle again, and so on, so on. And this one is alchemical. I've also made that, right, for my own website. And it works like this. So you solve these. Of course, this looks very simple because it's already made, but the point is that it gets more difficult. So this one might be a bit more difficult. I've not made a decryption for this, but people, they would then have to decrypt this and figure out what it is, and then it goes it gets more difficult with time. Like this one, there is hidden a key in this like in the alpha values of the image, and then after that you go to this one, and you have to decrypt these parts or this table, and that holds the key, and then after that, you know, it goes like that. So it's, the idea is to make it more difficult. And then this one is the final, currently the final one, and it's the most difficult one because you have to do something with these RNA and DNA, and then this string, and that in this table up here. So there is some shifting going on, and then you have to do this multiple times, right? So many operations, and you have to probably write your like you have to get the numerical number that this RNA code represents, and the same with the DNA, and you have to multiply them and so on. But so it's like it's for puzzles and people. Yes, exactly. That's the idea behind it. Right now, currently, the URLs that's kind of encrypted, right? Because it's the URLs are 213 characters, but to request, if somebody, they didn't want to solve the puzzle, so they wanted to brute force the URL. It's a very large number. It's more than atoms in the universe, right? This number, or the amounts of attempts they would have to do before hitting this or this string, at least. Yes. And it's currently open, so everybody with the URL, like you can see here, if I go to the online version, everybody with the URL, they can go to the web page. So it's not protected by a login. But it's open based on the idea that you need to have the URL to get to the right page. But you can first find the URL if you have cracked or if you have solved the puzzle, and then, or if somebody else have solved the puzzle for that matter. Now I know to look in the app.js for paths to the pages. Yeah, people like puzzles. It's kind of like I should probably have put some disclaimers and said beta or something, because currently I'm streaming. So if I do this, let me show you, right? Like here all the strings are, I just leaked everything. Not that it's a problem or anything, but it's very simple. Like doing a new, yeah, that's the file you're joking about, exactly. I can also do this. Oh no, shit. Anyways, it's not a problem changing these strings. I'll just, like, when I go online with the next version, I'll probably change these strings and then run the program. The strings, they're based like so having, even if I had dynamic keys or URLs, it wouldn't be a problem. The only problem it will cause, like, I don't know, there's so many ways to make this, right? Because I could also do so that if you have a user, like, you would get a specific URL, so I would generate for your specific puzzle, so it would look something like this: user.puzzle string.alchemical, and it would be bound to some user, right? And in that way, it would not be able, like, you couldn't share it if I did it this way, because it might be something only for the specific user. But the idea I wanted with the puzzle, I thought, was that I didn't want it to make it like so that, let's say, you just want to solve, and normally you cannot click like this, right? But you just wanted to solve this with your friend or something. Like, he can pass you the URL and maybe something. But like, it's also always, and hello, it's always so difficult, like, figuring out, for me at least, the right design decisions almost. Because there's so many ways it can be done, and each way is good and bad for its own thing. Like, what I'm doing is probably bad, like money wise. Like, if I wanted to make money on it, the best way would probably be to have a user, and then have for each user have the puzzle strings, and then every user would have to solve everything themselves, so nobody could cheat, or cheat. They could only cheat in the way that they would have to share the algorithm. Why you don't use React? if you like JS for web development, because I have my own router. That's why. I have this this router. I have my own. I'm not saying that it's better, right? So don't. And there is also bugs in it and so on. Like this one is gonna be removed and so on. But this is what I'm doing for it, and it works good for me. I can tell you that much. Currently, I'm happy for it. Like it's fast, or it's fast enough, right? You can see it works like React. React might give you better performance. I'm not even sure about that actually, but React might give you better search or something. As you can see, it's like yeah, it's not slow. Like this is a page change. This here. Anyways. Yeah, I think it's nice as well. I've been working on it for quite some time actually, and I have had many different iterations almost of ways I want to do it. It will ruin all the joy of creating your own app structure. What do you mean? It will ruin all the joy. Oh, you mean React will ruin all the joy. I agree on that, if that's what you're saying. Like, just look at this. My files, they're called .js. That's the only thing I called. I think that's pretty cool. Like, this is the index files. They're called .js. With React, I go at 100% performance on Google. I scored 100 here as well. So, you know, and that's without React. Do I have a goal in mind for these projects? I'm not sure. No. Like, I think the biggest part, or sometimes the problem, or the idea, I guess, behind this project is that like sometimes I like doing puzzles, right, or encryptions, and they might not be seen so much because, or I don't even know if you want to call it encryption, right, but it's a way of just showing something I do, and then, you know, I learn whatever. I've learned quite a lot doing this project. Just you know, this menu was teaching me quite a bit, and it's still a bit buggy, you see, or I'm not sure if it's a bug or a feature that it scrolls like that, but that's how it works currently. Yeah, feature. It was because I wanted it to stay in the top right, like that. So it stayed, and then if you got to the top, it got its correct position. And the same here, you know, the way that it scrolls. Because there are so many ways to do things, and maybe that's what I like doing sometimes. But I don't have goals. I don't know what's the goal. You know, it's a secret. That's what's the goal maybe about this website. And then maybe people, they will learn something. You know, I learned something doing it. People might also. It's about encrypting or decrypting. Finding the key. Yeah, it's a puzzle. So you have to find the key from this. Like each what would you say? each column of these, not this one, that's just the index number. But these values are equivalent to a character. And then you have to put all the characters together into a string, and that string will then lead you to the next page. I have a quick fix if you want, inspired by Pinterest. What do they do? Oh no. Like CTF, yeah, I guess maybe you can say it's like CTF. I'm not sure exact, yeah, doxed. You know what Google have done so many times? If, like, the worst part, like, that is not a problem for me because I kind of doxed myself anyways. But you know what Google does? And I'm not gonna replicate it, because if I replicate it, then you get my IP. But, or I guess I can replicate it just to a small extent. Yeah, the search results. Like if you do something like this in, let me see, what would we say? In URL, or something like this. In URL, www, and this is minus. In URL, http, minus in URL, https, and then something like in URL, in URL .gov or something. Like a search string like this will probably cause Google to show your IP. Not first time, but then the next time I'll go to Google results, it will probably ask me. Like it's not that it shows your IP, but it's that when Google wants a capture, they also display your IP, and that's something I'm a bit angry about, because like you do one wrong search, like it might not even be like this is a bit more malicious search, like because this is targeting FTP, like I could also say FTP, right? And only government. Never search for VPN sites. They display IPs as well. Yeah, that's. But it's also more that, you know, if you go to a page, you might expect it to show, but it's more that Google, if I search this, and you know, maybe I should just do it because it's probably out there anyways. But it doesn't do it first time, but like the next time I'm gonna search something on Google now, they're probably gonna ask me for my IP, and this is not even working as it's supposed to. But yeah, you have to be careful sometimes with your Google searches. Google are not even the best, you know, they have some strange places sometimes. Anyways, I should stop rambling. Yeah, especially on stream, it can, like, but then again, the question is also, like, if people want to hack you, they probably wouldn't sit and look for, you know, an IP leak or something in a stream. And then again, how difficult would it be for somebody to obtain your IP? Like, send a link and then grab the IP from the connection, right, or something. So I guess things, they are like that anyways. It's not that difficult if people, they want to. So maybe it doesn't matter so much. I started using a proxy when on streaming. I should probably use my VPN or something as well. All saying, if they want to hack you, they're gonna hack you. Just a matter of time. Yeah, exactly. The only thing you can do is stop doing stupid mistakes. That makes it easier for them, maybe. But then again, they probably have, like, how much can you even do with an IP, right? You can DDoS somebody's, probably, that's it. Maybe. I don't know if you have nothing open on your network. I'm not sure what you can do with an IP alone. Good thing I'm poor. No one has any reason to hack me. Yeah, I'm poor too, man. So I hope they stay away. I hope they stay away. else we're gonna have problems. I'm not a hacker myself. Yeah, the poor team. I don't hack people. That's not very good or nice to do. I do worse things. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sorry. It's dangerous. Very dangerous. Yeah, admitted troublemaker. Now the world knows. God damn it. They're gonna lock me up. You know, it was only a matter of time before they locked me up anyways for doing this shit. Maybe. Okay, so this one is not loaded with the new troublemakers. All these troublemakers, and I'm one of them. How it goes sometimes. I don't hack things though, or not people, but I'm more into stuff like this, like a 8-circuit model of consciousness. I think that's more fun ideas, right? Fucking bonkers. I'm fucking bonkers. Shit. Okay, so I need to request this one, I think. DNA table, yes. So that's it. Constructive versus destructive, or deconstructive. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so what did I do here? Yeah, building things instead of breaking things. I want to say I sometimes break things too, but that's more of, you know, it's not really a hobby for me to break things. But if I see something that's like, oh, there's something interesting, I cannot always keep my fingers away from doing something about it. But usually I stop. It's the same thing with Google searches, right? You can find a lot of things on Google. It doesn't mean that you break things, but you can find a lot of very bad things on Google, I think. Idle hands are a devil's workshop. Maybe. It's probably correct. Maybe that's why I'm where I'm at. Okay, so table is not defined. And I probably, so where is this gonna come from? Table is from, where is this from? Yeah, box are fine. It's all about what you use the box for, I think. 1 second, please. Be right back. Okay, so I want to just get this last piece working, and then maybe I'll stop for today. So it's this one, and we have a problem with coding. So it's most certainly returning. Oh shit. You could put some CISA encryptions. Yeah, I've been thinking about CISA. It's more that I want this to be more complex and not something you just. The idea about the website was to not, or for people not to be able to just do this CISA cipher. How is it cipher? I cannot even spell. No, that they would just look it up. Something like, I don't know, I have my own, right? But I don't want people to just go do something like this, however, you know, how it works, and then be like, oh no, now I solved it. But yes, I should do CISA. I've already done this one actually, so I have done it before. It's just that I thought it was too simple for the website, because all the currently all the ideas in here has been new ideas, like for me at least, you know, they might have been made before, but the only thing that's not difficult is this one. There's also, you know, this one you can say it's binary to emoji. It's probably been done before, right? Binary to emoji, but I chose to do it. Like, I want this to be more difficult. It could too make. I could. Let me see. I cannot read right now. I could too make yours with Python. So in the end, it's kind of same for someone with experience. I don't quite understand, and I couldn't read. But the idea is more, at least for this website, it's more thinking up new ways, because, for example, when I just looked at this, I thought of another way I could hide a message, right? And it could be, instead of having only 2 emojis for the binary, you know, we could also make it more complex and add, you know, a scissoring to the step before the binary, and so on, so on. So it's not that I say CISA is bad. It's good, but I just need to add it at another level before, so it would have to like multiple encryption or multiple you do multiple operations before you get to the point. You don't only do one operation, but you have to do multiple. So it could be that this is a binary or whatever, the binary or the textual representation of the binary would then be shifted before it's made to emoji, and that would add a layer of complexity, I guess you can say, and that's all fine. It's all fine if I do something like that. It's just that I did not want clean Caesar cipher. Like let me go, and I cannot show you because I need to actually fix this problem. But I'm using shifting in this puzzle actually. If you don't have ideas for the website, you can search for John Hammond CTF. It's a GitHub repo. Yeah, I could probably do. I don't look so much at repos. And I also don't think it's probably not. I'm not sure if it's what I want to create. So I'm probably just gonna do something. Yeah, but this is like more, isn't this more in like relation to hacking? I don't think my is not in relation to hacking. It's more of hiding messages, I guess. I guess that's the idea. It's more about, but I guess this is maybe the same, right? Maybe this is the same. Yeah, there's some DNA here as well. I'll also use that. But I think maybe this is a bit different than what I did. I don't think I need so much inspiration, to be honest. Or maybe sometimes it's more of that, like I've not even, like last time I did a puzzle or I added, like this one I did like March. I did this last, so it's quite some time ago actually. It's more that I'm not so much, I'm not a good worker. I'm not a good worker in the sense that I don't care about finishing. It's more about, I get to a point and then I think it's fun doing stuff like this, and then I'll do stuff like this, or then I'll work on some other project or some other thing or something. I'm like currently I'm not very good at sticking to one thing. I do too many things almost, and it might be a problem. I'm not sure currently, but I almost do too many things sometimes, and in that sense I don't get anywhere. Okay, so fetch failed because of oh, that's why. Probably. XJ. Yay, okay, so it works now. Good. Good, 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 good. This is still not styled. I messed up the style, I see. But it's new every time. It's a bit slow loading. At least the first part of the page is fast, but then the load after that is kind of slow because it's so much text, right? It's such a big document. But I guess it's fine when this is loading dynamically afterwards. So the initial request or the initial load is still very fast. It's just that here, I guess this is fucking crazy almost. What are you making? It's a website for puzzles like this. You have to decode this one, and if you do it correctly, you get a character, and you have to do this multiple times. That's the idea. And there's multiple things. So there's currently I only have like 6 or 7 different or something, but it's something that I can build upon. And learn from as well. You know, I get some idea, you know, can I encrypt a text or like this? Here I use DNA and RNA, and you have to multiply these two to get the shifting value up in this table. So you have to shift these values based on the DNA and RNA. And that's it. It's not so difficult, but the shifting value also depends on in which order you read the DNA table and what values. I might have given them other values than what they usually have. Whose DNA is it? I'm not sure. It might not even be a real DNA. It's just a DNA sequence, right? It's or a DNA. I don't know if you can even call it a sequence. I guess it's a DNA sequence. It's a sequence of yeah, it's yours DNA. We don't have your IP, but we got your DNA. Better, you know. Now we can communicate with you by other means than usually used. And that's very dangerous. And it's something like that. Clone me. Yeah, we're gonna clone you. That's a great idea. Great idea. Oh shit. Sometimes I think to myself, what am I doing? I'll get myself into troubles for this. Troubles. You know, all this synchronicity is gonna spiral out of control. They're gonna call up Earth Coincident Control Center and be like, oh shit, man, that guy, he's too far out. We don't know what to do with him. Or something. Yeah, the machine elf, you know, you see exactly there, that guy, he knows what's up. That's just a prime example of, you know, this amount of synchronicity. You know, it's not for fun we play this game. You know, the playing time is over. Or something. The machine elves are coming, that's for sure. And you know, we work with quantum psychology. affecting things at a distance by means not known possible to man. It's been quite interesting, but none of that. It's not what we do. Okay. I I cannot this. Okay, so it's in here, div, and we want a border, right? Border. Look at this, it's all broken. Or almost. Jung's kind of synchronicity, yes, exactly. I've been reading a lot of Jung. If you check out my reading list, you'll see. I have a reading list if you're interested. I think it's in here or something. There's quite a lot of alchemy, psychology as well. A lot of Jung, no. So there's quite some Jung here. Oh, the red book, I've actually read it. I have it over there. This version though, I think there is one. I was a bit sad. If you were, if you if you live in my city, go ahead. But I was a bit sad actually that this had no pictures. So I'm not sure if you can get a better version with pictures, because it's kind of stupid, because one of the what do you say? Like one of the very important things about Jung is also the symbolism, I think. And then they kept out the images from the red book, and I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? So there's no images in this. Like it's symbolically dense in words, maybe you can say, but not. I still would like to have seen, because I know there is real pictures in the original red book, but not this one. And that was something I was like, that's a bit bullshit. But anyways, Man and His Symbols was decent. Yes, I think that was where I started. I read the Danish one. I think it's this one. And that's the Danish version of it. I have the undiscovered self, modern man in search for soul, and aspects of masculine and aspects of feminine. I see. The reason why I read so much Jung is because of alchemy. If you know what alchemy is, I can highly recommend, if you like Jung, and to read more alchemy. The Philosopher's Stone. Yes, that's a part of it, right? That's where a lot of, like, it's also very close to philosophy, right? But a lot of Jung's collective work, you can see this is one of the collective works. It's alchemical studies, and this one, Mysterium Cunicitionis, that's also alchemical work, and that's about the opposite. You can almost say, you can say a lot of things. How to transmute coal into gold, kind of deal. Yes, but it's more of a spiritual sense. It's not so much of taking coal and then turning it into gold, but it's more of a process on now maybe I should not spoil all the beans, because people but the idea right behind it is that you use the process on yourself. So whatever the process, because at least this is, I think, the psychological idea behind it is that the alchemists back in the day, they looked or they projected parts of the unconscious into their experiments, and by that way you could obtain maybe information about the unconscious or archetypal or something maybe in relation to the psyche, and that's why the alchemy, even if it's the right alchemy, have and the right alchemy, that's have to be stressed. But what was it? Now I lost it. I lost it. But yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter so much. Maybe. Let me see. I read The Alchemist, but I stopped reading when they got to the desert oasis. Is it worth continuing? I think it was a good book, yes. I liked it, but maybe it also have more value for me because all of this other stuff is very alchemical. This is an old alchemical book as well. Very good. I can highly recommend this one if you are interested in alchemy. Terence McKenna also. I got the recommendation from Terence McKenna, and I saw some other guy talking about machine elves. So maybe that's extra to that point. After reading it, I ended up working in action housing, selling antiques. Anyways, yeah. This is also a good alchemical book. Old ones. Like these two I just named, they are old ones. This is 1500, I think, and this is also like 1500, this one. So, at least the author won't take your money. I think Terence McKenna said that, find somebody dead and they can't take your money. Thanks for reminding me of the title of the... okay. I don't get the concept behind alchemy. What is it about other than silly coal to gold? But it's not real, like the coal to gold idea was the coal to gold idea was only to cheat the kings back in the day. It was never about transforming or transmuting like real gold. That was like a con, because back in the days, like maybe these alchemists, they wouldn't get much funding because they were doing something that was probably seen as heresy or something like that. So they kept underground probably very well, and then to get money, maybe some of them was like, I can transform coal into gold or whatever metal they used as the reference. And the kings would maybe give them money and say, you do that, and so it was like if like either it was used to cheat the kings, or then it was like a con alchemist, I guess you can say. At least that's how I look at it. Maybe somebody will tell me that I'm wrong, but it's these parts about history that can probably be discussed for a very long time, and you would never get a correct or a wrong answer to it. Maybe. I enjoy talking about this stuff. Perhaps we can talk via Discord sometimes. On your stream or mine if you're interested. Yeah, maybe you can, I guess you can add me, and maybe we can figure something out. Maybe we should do a podcast or something. I don't know. if people they are interested in something like that. But I won't promise anything. I'm still kind of far out, so you know. Sometimes I get stressed out. Like I'm still not exactly used to like even streaming and so on. Okay, so this doesn't have a height for some reason. Okay. So I just want to have a border here now. I still don't know why for some reason this is so high. Let me see what you write. What do you think of the more occult mystical resources that relate to consciousness and the soul? I feel like they communities might contain some useful information discussion, but I can't tell sometimes because of the prevalence of schizophrenia and just pure BS. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but I guess I'm reading a book by like Aleister Crowley, and that's probably where some people they will be like this, because maybe that's more of the more mystical and occult stuff. And like what more? I don't see it as bad, you know. I try to not give it any like power or something, but I've seen quite some interesting things. But what I'm mostly interested in is probably like the model of consciousness, like the 8th circuit model of consciousness. And maybe I don't know if you would see this as occult or mystical, but it's definitely out there, but almost like it's in here, like it's out there, but it's maybe real, or it has some real aspects to it. And you know, this is built on, like, I think the idea is from the chakra or some Hindu system. Like there is 8 chakras if you count like is it called, I don't know, like Bina or something. I don't know. I should probably not say because I don't know. But I think maybe this could be some of the more mystical, a lot of these, or like some of these high circuit, what would you say? Like to access the high circuits, you have to induce it by like yogas they write here, or like drugs basically. And I think it's more interesting that, because if people they can have something like the non-quantum or the non-local quantum circuit, if it's something that's outside of space-time or something, or it seems that you can access information that you are not able to access by normal means or something. So I don't know, but I most certainly think that consciousness is interesting, right? And because we want more of consciousness, and if we can get more of consciousness, then we are probably pretty good off or something. But yeah. I believe there isn't some higher power or secrecy behind consciousness, and it just happens for no specific reason. That's probable, right? But I mean, I find it interesting, at least to the extent that like it's interesting that we can sit here like in some kind of like you know, I watch my screen, you watch whatever screen you watch, but it's interesting, like consciousness. I'm not even sure if I know what consciousness is, right? Because how would you define it? And then it's myself, like I'm looking at my own system, right? So my evaluations might not be so correct, because I interpret my system based on what I know, or and so on, so on. How do I know how do you know I'm a real person? That's a good question as well. And with the forward progression of time, you know, it's probably gonna be even more difficult to know in the future. Exactly, could very well be a bot. You know, I could be a bot right now, and you know, I am an artificial intelligence that is you know, generated even visually and auditory. So I doesn't exist, but would you believe me? I think not. Will AI ever develop real consciousness? Well, I think that we go by first asking, well, what is real consciousness? You go define that, because I goddamn don't know. How do you measure consciousness? Well, we have an 8-circuit brain model or an 8-circuit model of consciousness. Do we measure it with this? And then if people run around in non-local awareness, then you know, everything maybe breaks down. Anyway, I don't fucking know. It's just like, I don't think that's so interesting, because we don't know quite. Like we don't know what's going on, right? Trying to define consciousness is like a philosophical trap. Yeah, I think the best way, like I don't even know, it's like Descartes, I think therefore I am, right? But that doesn't even hit the target, which is also funny, maybe. And I don't know. Like, what is consciousness? I think you know what, or maybe that's more of a reality. But isn't this what they do? They're like, you know, what is consciousness? And this might be loud, so I'm sorry, but it's like something like this. That's maybe more reality, right? And not so much consciousness. But then again, what's the difference between consciousness and reality? You have one too? I got this one from a friend. I usually don't have it laying around, but you got me too much thinking about, Alan Watts, and when he says, reality is that's reality, or something like that. And now I already fucked it up because I said that's reality, and that's too much description because the word is not the object, or the word is not the thing, something like that, or something. Sometimes I'm not sure where I'm going. Do you ever do something like that? I'm not sure where I'm going, but it's going somewhere. Anyways, I might take a break now. I probably need a break. Yeah, I'm just floating around, like floating around. I'm still an AI, right? Wasn't that the agreement we got to? I think I'm an artificially generated stream. Can we outthink our thinking, or are human beholden to their chemical responses? Are we, as Alan Watts has said, a result of a people, tree peopling? I don't know, because maybe you can change things. Like, I think we're bound. Like, this is what I think, and don't take anything I say right. It's probably bullshit, but I think we're bound to certain chemical responses, and I think that we can affect our own chemical responses or I think consciousness can affect the chemical responses, and that's probably proven. The question is just to what extent can we affect our chemical responses by consciousness alone, and so on. And maybe you don't have to do it alone. Maybe you need specific tools to activate it even more or something. But yeah, peoples, right? Something. Consciousness is just a side effect of our so far evolved brain. Probably. I don't know history, so don't ask me. I'm stuck in this space time, or whatever you want to say. I'm not before, I'm not after, I'm here, or something. So it's kind of funny that, because I should not even say this. Fucking everything is bullshit. Are you here? Are you? No, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm probably somewhere up in the clouds or something. Too far out. Too far out. Yeah, it's probably best that I take a break, I think. I'm not sure if I'll come back today, but maybe some other day. There is a probability I'll get back today, but I'll say that the chances are low, or yes, because I have some things I need to do. But anyways, it was very, very good talking to people, and may you enjoy your day.